So every year, Taste Atlas release their top 100 dishes from around the world, and I find it fascinating. I take great interest in this, and mainly because it's voted on by you guys. So I thought it'd be super interesting to take the top 10 dishes, we'll cook them all, and then Caitlin, Mitch, and myself will judge them and see if we agree with the top 10 list. This should be a super fun one, so let's get stuck in. First up, Panang Curry. Now, making curry paste is all about building layers of flavor. So to start, we're gonna soak some dried chilies in warm water. Next, you're gonna toast your spices in a dry pan over a medium-high heat. Then you're gonna place them into a mortar and pestle and pound them until they're a fine powder. Now you're gonna remove them and set aside for later. Now you're gonna grate the garlic and galangal into the mortar, and you're also gonna add the soaked chilies from before. You're gonna pound this until you have no big pieces of chili left. Next, you're gonna add the lime leaves, shallots, coriander roots, toasted spices, fermented shrimp paste, peanuts, and salt. And you're gonna pound this until you have a smooth paste. And yes, you can do it in a food processor, but don't be lazy and just do it like it should be done. In a large wok or fry pan, you're gonna add some oil and fry the curry paste until fragrant. Once your curry paste is nice and fragrant, add around 1/3 of the coconut milk. Then some more torn lime leaves, palm sugar, and you're gonna mix this well. Then you're gonna add your chicken, stirring again, and cook this for a few more minutes before you add the rest of the coconut milk, and you simmer this on a medium-low heat for 30 minutes. One final taste for salt, adding more fish sauce if needed, and you're ready to serve. Garnish with some more toasted peanuts and chiffonade lime leaves. So there you go, number 10, the Panang Curry. And I've got high hopes for this one, but let's have a taste.
I want Mitch to go first so I can judge like his spice reaction.
Absolutely fine. You nervous?
I am.
Yeah, honestly, that's one of my favorite curries of all time.
That is spicy, but it's delicious, so.
Wasn't that spicy?
My mouth is on fire.
It's got a little bit of a kick. It's actually lots of flavour though.
This is hard. Where does it belong? Looks good.
I think it
tastes good.
I think it's higher than a 10 personally.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm going number 6.
Oh, same.
Look at that.
I'm going number 5. I actually really enjoy that for a bit of spice.
All right, get out you two. That scored pretty high, but next up, shashlik. And what is it, you ask? Well, it's effectively skewered and grilled cubes of meat, similar to a shish kebab. And there's loads of different types of shashlik, from chicken, lamb, or pork like I'm doing today. Whatever meat you choose to use, make sure you have a good amount of fat like you see here. This will stop the meat from drying out, and we all know that fat is flavor. And for the marinade, I'm keeping it pretty simple. I'm using onions, salt, black pepper, paprika, some apple cider vinegar, and soda water. I'm gonna mix this really well and leave this in the fridge to marinate. Now, ideally overnight, but you wanna do it at least for 4 hours. Now, when it's time to cook, you're gonna skewer the cubes of meat on some flat skewers. And the reason you use the flat ones is so that they don't turn around when you're spinning the skewer. And also, make sure you got some of that fat between each layer of that lean meat. Now, shashlik should be cooked over charcoal or a wood fire where possible. Now, you want that fat to render, dripping onto the coals and the flames just licking the meat. Now, what you don't want is a big fat fire engulfing the meat. That'll just make it taste nasty, so you gotta control the flame by moving the skewers around so this doesn't happen. All right, number 9, shashlik. That's not bad.
Not bad, but that's just grilled meat.
Oh, savage. I think it's pretty good. It's pretty hard not to like barbecue meat. You can do it in lots of other meats, but I chose pork. It seems to be the most common.
I like pork.
It was number 9. Knowing what everything else is coming up, I reckon it's properly placed.
It was tasty, but I'd definitely be going back for the curry before I would go back for one of these.
Yeah, look, it's not bad, but it's not anything incredibly exciting.
Just grilled meat.
It's staying at 9 for me.
I'm with you, Mitch. It's staying at 9 for now. All right, thanks, team. Next up, number 8, hang bao, soup dumplings. Now, I've made these on this channel before, but here's a quick run through of how to make these delicious little morsels. You're gonna start by making the soup, which is a pork trotter and chicken soup that's flavored with ginger and spring onions. Now, I know trotters seem super weird to most Westerners, but they're good for a couple of reasons. They're absolutely delicious and full of flavor, and they're also full of gelatin. which is how the soup sets when it's cold, making it easy to wrap into a dumpling. To make the filling, you're gonna mix pork mince, crab meat, spring onions, MSG, soy sauce, Shaoxing wine, sesame oil, and cornstarch. Then you're gonna dice up your soup, which is actually set like a jelly now, into small chunks, and you're gonna mix that through with the other pork mixture as well. Wrap the soup dumpling in a dumpling wrapper, making sure there's some of those delicious soup cubes in each one. When it's time to eat, you simply steam them for 8 to 10 minutes and that jelly will liquefy, giving you one of the most delicious dumplings there is. Tang bao, soup dumplings. These are probably one of my favorite things in the world, so I have high hopes. I feel like they're gonna score pretty high, but let's see what these other two peanuts think. Thank you, Chef.
That's alright.
Do you know how to eat these, Mitchell?
Oh, I got these fancy chopsticks here.
The old bite and slurp.
Who's only number 8 on the list?
Looks hot.
Hot. This
They're
is like,
so tasty.
this is easy.
Oh, stop copying me.
Okay, I've got number 1 then. This is easy first place right now. I could eat 20 of these, no problem. Love them.
Yeah, they're good. Number 2 for me.
They're good, but
Oh,
I know what else is in this list of 10. Yeah, so delicious, but I think they can't take out number 1 spot just yet, so
okay.
we'll see.
All right, garlic naan up next, and I know Mitch is definitely excited for this one.
Going number
Alright,
1,
thank
baby.
Now the word naan literally translates to bread, but the garlic naan that I think we all know and love really grew in popularity in the Western world through the rise of Indian restaurants, really starting in the United Kingdom. It's a simple dough of flour, yeast, sugar, salt, yogurt, and water. It's kneaded well until it's nice and smooth and then left to prove. Once it's proved, it's knocked back and rolled into balls and then rolled out with garlic and coriander pressed into the dough. Now, traditionally, naan is cooked in a tandoor oven. Now, I, like most people in the world, do not have a tandoor oven at my disposal at my home, so a pizza oven is the next best thing. And if you don't have a pizza oven, a cast iron pan also works really well. As soon as the naan is cooked, you're gonna pull it out of the oven and brush it with lashings of butter. And I tell you what, there's not much that smells better than fresh garlic naan covered in butter. Number 7, butter garlic naan. How good. Are you a crunchy naan or a soft naan type of person, Mitchell?
I'd eat any type of naan, I reckon it's all good.
Kaylin?
A little bit of crunch, but mainly soft. Smells good, smells garlicky. Tasty. Just need like a little dipping sauce.
Like a curry?
Yeah. Like go.
Oh, Kaylin's gone 7? Outrageous.
I mean, yeah, I'd eat the Panang Curry again before I'm eating this as a meal.
I agree with it actually in hindsight. Maybe I scored
Yeah.
Panang too low.
Yeah, I think I maybe scored it too low as well, but we'll wait to the other dishes.
I thought it was going to be like my top 3. It's going 6 for me.
6? I thought it should be higher. I'm just going to put it 7 for now, because it's definitely not better than the Panang.
I feel like people are going to be upset by this.
Oh, I don't make the rules.
You could maybe click "we be gone,"
Yeah.
and then you introduce the next dish.
Next up, khao soi. And I guess this is Thailand's version of a soup noodle that's popular all throughout Asia, from pho to ramen, laksa, and the delicious Taiwanese beef soup noodle. They're all delicious, but this one has a special place in my heart. So to make the khao soi, you're gonna start by frying off some red curry paste and then adding some diced chicken thighs. After cooking the chicken for a few minutes, you're gonna add coconut milk, chicken stock, and fish sauce. You're gonna mix this well and simmer it for about 25 minutes before adjusting the seasoning by adding a good amount of lime juice, some palm sugar, and more fish sauce if needed. So time to serve, and you're gonna start by blanching some fresh egg noodles for a couple of minutes and placing them in a bowl. Then you're gonna pour over lashings of that delicious coconut curry broth along with some chicken. You're gonna garnish this with some crispy wonton wrappers and some coriander. And on the side, you're gonna serve it with some pickled mustard greens, some chili sauce, and some more lime wedges. So there you go, number 6, khao soi. Let's get the team in and see how we score it.
Ooh, this looks good. Oh,
Don't break the noodles,
that's a long noodle. Yeah, crispy wontons, delicious.
Go for it, Mitchell.
All right.
She needs some help.
What is going on here?
For me to serve you, man.
That's good. I think that's maybe not the top spot, but my top spot so far.
Wow.
Delicious. Soup noodle, rich from the coconut milk, really well balanced, nice and a little bit spicy, sweet, and I love the mustard greens with it. I'm gonna score that pretty high, I think. So the dilemma I'm having is it's definitely, I think I'm Panang over khao soi. I reckon I'm gonna push Panang to 2, khao soi to 3.
Whoa, big jump.
Wow, you really moved it up. I'm shuffling as well. I've moved my soup dumplings down. And that's a solid 2. That's a winner for me. It was really fresh.
I went number 2 as well. That was incredibly good.
All right, thank you lot. Next up, Gyoi Thai, pot stickers. Another one of my absolute favorite dumplings. I just love the texture you get from pan frying these. So to start, you're gonna blanch and finely slice Chinese cabbage for 1 minute before plunging into ice cold water to stop the cooking. Then you're gonna drain it and dry it really well. Next up, you're gonna slice some green onions really fine and grate some ginger. Then in a bowl, you're gonna add the onions, ginger, cooked cabbage, soya sauce, rice wine vinegar, salt, MSG, and white pepper, and of course, some high fat content pork mince. You're gonna mix this well until it becomes nice and tacky. You're gonna wrap this mixture around a round dumpling wrapper into a half moon shape, folding it over and crimping the edges 7 to 8 times. To cook, place a pan on a medium-high heat and add some peanut oil. Once the oil is hot, add the dumplings flat side down and fry until golden brown on the bottom. Then carefully place the lid on top, lift the edge and pour in some water. Close the lid really quickly and steam for 4 to 5 minutes or until all the water has evaporated. Number 5, gyoti. Let's get the team in and see where we rate it.
These look good. Really good.
Pot stickers, I'm pretty sure it translates to pot sticker. Someone will let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. Pot stick, yeah, I think you're right.
You haven't upgraded yet, Mitch. You're still on the baby chopsticks.
I upgraded to hands that work. A bit spicy on the sauce, but won't let that take away from the pot sticker.
Guilty.
Yum.
That's delicious. And the reason it's delicious for me is it's really nicely balanced. The pork meat has a great level of fattiness, which coats your mouth really well. And the dumpling is delicious because it's not only soft and subtle, it's also nice and crunchy. Is it better than a soup dumpling though? I don't think so.
I went with 4. I think just the broth that you get in the soup dumpling, you can't beat that. So it's so close.
Khao soi's going down.
Ooh.
That's going there. Still doesn't take out top spot, and I think Panang's still better.
Yeah, look, that was delicious. Not gonna beat khao soi. Tang bao dropping down one, taking number 3 spot.
Next up is a pretty big contender. Number 4, the pizza.
Pizza Margherita. This is one of those deceivingly simple dishes that's absolutely delicious, but can be really tricky to get right. So we're gonna start with our dough that's been bulk fermented for 8 hours. Then it was rolled into balls and placed in the fridge for 48 hours to ferment a second time. It's hand stretched, then crushed San Marino tomatoes, buffalo mozzarella, basil, and extra virgin olive oil are placed on top. Now, there should also be some Pecorino Romano on there, but to be 100% honest, I completely forgot to buy it, and by the time we were going to film this, it was too late, and I'm sorry, all right? The pizza gets baked traditionally in a wood-fired pizza oven at around 450 degrees Celsius for just over 1 minute. So simple, yet so complex.
Number 4, pizza napolitana. Let's get the crew in and see what they think.
It's a winner.
You go first, Kaylin. I'm a big pizza guy.
That's hard to beat.
Has pizza ever not won something?
Oh, it's got a shuffle. Pop them right up there.
It's not a 10 or a 7 or 8.
It even soiled my khao soi.
Number 1 for me.
Oh.
Is that
Wow, alright.
across the board?
Losers, you copied me. Pizza's at the top of the board right now. We all love pizza. The more I make it, the more I love it. Then next up, fat caprao. And I pronounced that terribly, I apologize, but it's beef and basil. But a very special type of basil. I'll run you through it in a second. Get out of here, you two.
So the hardest thing about this dish is finding the right type of basil. This is sweet basil, and it's the type we just used in the pizza that we ate. And this is Thai basil. This is the basil that most restaurants will use in this dish. It's super high in an aniseed flavor, and I'm a big fan of it. This, the holy basil that you should be using, is really hard to find outside of Thailand. It's distinguishable by its sawtooth edge. And I happened to find this bunch at the Noosa Farmers Market, so shout out to the stall there that only sells Asian veg and herbs. Cooking this dish couldn't be simpler. Start by adding bird's eye chili, long red chilies and garlic to a mortar and pestle and pounding until you have a nice paste. Then place a wok over a high heat and add some oil. Add your beef mince and fry for a couple of minutes before adding the chili and garlic that you just crushed up. Toss this really well, then season the whole dish with fish sauce and some sugar. And at the last second, add lots of that holy basil. Serve it over some steamed jasmine rice with a nice crispy fried egg on top.
All right, we're getting to the point here now. Number 3, Pat Caprell. Let's get the team in to see what they think. I'm pretty excited about this one, so I'm not even gonna wait for you.
That was
Oh,
rude.
he's good.
I'm nervous.
How
in
spicy?
This one.
There's a lot of chilies in there. I did take some of the seeds out because I was worried about Basic Mitch.
Okay.
Well, that's delicious, and it's not actually that spicy. You've got great chili flavor without being overpowering, I thought. I can really see why that's a really common dish. It's like comforting, nice spice level, beefy, and that basil really sets it off nicely.
I don't know if it belongs in top 3. I might do some shuffling, but
I think the caveat here for me, I keep thinking about, is that these are all top 10, so it's really hard to be judgmental. It's delicious, right?
Yeah. Look, I've got a gap at 5, so it's just, I think it's just gonna go there.
I'm gonna go number 6 because I think I would prefer more castaway.
flavour in that was better than the butter garlic naan, but not better than the Panang Curry. So it's going to slot down, drop into a number 6.
Wow.
Would eat
Okay.
again.
I am surprised that that's where it is.
What, garlic naan?
I did have
For
high
Mitch?
hopes, but
Yeah.
Anyway, time to make some roti. Off you go.
Okay.
First things first, and we need to make a dough. So we're gonna make an egg-enriched dough, which consists of flour, water, eggs, and salt. So after a couple of series of kneading and resting, you're gonna turn the dough out onto a grease board and cut it into 12 even pieces. We're gonna roll those balls until they're nice and tight and they have good surface tension. Then we're gonna cover them in ghee or soft butter, and we're gonna put them into a tray and cover the dough in the fridge overnight to rest. So the next day, and it's time to cook. So you're gonna grease up your board again, and you're gonna hand stretch the dough, starting with your fingers, pushing the dough out. Then you're gonna lift the edges out and pull it until you get it as thin as you possibly can without causing too many massive holes. At this point, you're gonna bunch the top and the bottom ends together, so you end up with what looks like a long rope. So you're gonna take that long rope and you're gonna fold it in on itself so it forms a loose ball with lots and lots of layers of pastry and fat in between them. So you're gonna take that loose ball and using a rolling pin, you're gonna roll it out again. Then you're gonna place it into a hot cast iron pan and you're gonna cook it with lots of butter until it's golden brown and flaky on both sides.
Number 2, roti canai. Is it a dish? I don't know, but let's find out how good it tastes. Is it better than garlic naan?
Smells better.
Oh,
whoa.
Oh, it smells really good. Nice and flaky.
Texture feels good. It looks good. Crunch is really good.
sounds good.
I reckon better than garlic naan. That was freaking incredible. Even duck ones from.
I have to agree, Mitchell.
That's an 8.
Yeah, flaky, the texture's really good. Nothing wrong with that at all. So my only criticism of it is that he needs something to dip it into.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't feel complete without, like, a curry.
I reckon I could smash one of those on its own. Easy. It's gonna sit at us above the garlic naan for me.
Number 7 also. Why are you quick copying me?
What, did we just get 7 across the
Oh,
board?
guys, the house is looking way too similar.
All right, last one, the picanha. Let's see where it goes.
So to cook picanha churrasco style, you're gonna take your rump cap and then you're gonna cut your pieces of meat about 3 fingers deep against the grain, which is different to how you would cut it if you were just cooking these as steaks. In that case, you'd actually cut it with the grain. And the reason being because you want the final cut of the beef once it's cooked to be against the grain. So in this instance, when we're gonna carve them off the skewers, carving it this way, the last cut will be against the grain. And then cooking picanha is super simple. All it needs is good quality coarse sea salt, some good quality charcoal, and you're gonna roast it slowly over until your desired temperature. Now I like mine about medium rare. On average, 70% of you who watch these videos are not subscribed, so do me a favor and just subscribe. It helps me out a lot, and then I can keep feeding Basic Mitch and Babe. Anyway, the top dish of Taste Atlas Top 100,
of 2023, the picanha. Let's see what the team thinks.
It's a tasty bit of meat.
Tasty bit of meat.
It is a tasty bit of meat.
Look, that's delicious. There's nothing wrong with that at all. It's a great cut of meat. You know, the rump cap or the picanha, cooked over charcoal. There is nothing wrong with that at all. Real simple, just salt. It's delicious. Is it the top dish of 2023? I'm not so sure.
Who
Yeah.
am I gonna upset?
I'm gonna have to do some shuffling because it's nice, but
Okay, to yourself.
Oh, okay.
Do your thing.
Okay.
On the count of 3, reveal your boards.
that wasn't 3.
Where'd you put picanha? Number 10.
Alright, it got a little bit higher up.
Number 7.
Above the
Number
breads.
4. I'm a big meat guy. I love it. So
I love it, but I actually think the shashlik
that
we had was tasty. I liked the char on that. I think it had more flavor.
That's probably the chef's fault.
Where'd you put it?
I've dropped it in above
Oh,
the breads,
okay.
number 7.
Above the breads.
shashlik as well.
Unanimously, we all voted pizza as number 1, and I feel like
What a shock.
what a shock. We all love pizza. Anyway, legends, this was a really fun one to film. Thank you all so much for watching. Like this video if you took anything from it, subscribe if you're not, and we'll see you next week for another recipe. Don't forget the recipes, if I've done them, they'll be linked below. If I haven't done them, I'll put a reference to one that I think is good or one that I've used as a reference. So I have done a pizza video, but don't go look for that. I'm not putting that down below. Maybe we need to reshoot that video. It was a while ago. And of course, let me know in the comments what's your top 10. I'd love to know. And then I'll make Dazz count all the votes and tell you that.
And sorry if we offended anyone.